People of the internet, welcome back to another video. It is I, Don Thomas, back in here with another one. As always, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the support on this channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic, folks. There's a rap beef right now that has the streets ablaze. These internet streets in the hip-hop community, of course, over the past few days, maybe a few weeks now, however long this whole beef started, between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Now, of course, as a hip-hop fan myself, of course, this is news to me as well. I'm not going to sit here and act as if, I wasn't the least bit thrilled. I was thrilled. It was exciting news. It's cool to see history, actually, literally history, man. If you, of course, you've been following the journey of any of these artists, up until this time, you kind of know their upward trajectory and how they even got to this point. It's very interesting. So it's just like, all right, cool, the beef. First of all, I was playing a little bit of catch up because the onslaught, right? I think they said Kendrick emptied the clip. He emptied the Draco on Drake. back to back to back to back songs, of course, which of course I've now had the chance to go back and make sure I have everything in the order that they came out in this, that, and the other, what the case is. So it's cool, man. Of course, I've been hearing Drake as well, too. I should honestly say, like, I'm a fan of both of these guys, man. I'm a fan of Drake. I'm a fan of Kendrick Lamar. Respectively for each of what they do. Drake in his own lane and Kendrick Lamar in his own lane. Man, I appreciate the art that they have done over the past few years. So, as again I said, I mentioned, of course, it's very interesting to watch from the outside looking in. Again, those of us who are fans of the hip-hop culture. But I was kind of on the fence of all of this. So, of course, I wanted to share my take, of course. I had a few colleagues, man. Shout out to a few of my buddies, man. Reached out like, yo, what's your take on this, man? I got like one or two dudes who I'll like, get down in the details of the music. Whether it's Kanye news, people know I'm a Kanye fan. Whether it's I think there's certain artists that I actually care to strike up a conversation. Not all, especially these days, but there's certain artists that you actually care to chime in the conversation. So of course, again, these artists being one of them. So it's a little bit on the fence, of course, doing a video on this, man. And again, I don't want to be that guy, but it's just like I'm gonna be that guy, man. Like like as I said many times, if you're new to this channel, or if you've been watching me for some time, man, you know that when it comes to celebrity gossip, I don't really care to put too much energy in it. Now, this is not necessarily celebrity gossip, although there's some gossip-like material within the subject matter of these songs that have been put out. If you're aware, you're aware. But like, I just don't really like speaking on celebrities too much unless it's like there's a clear indication of take-home value that you and I, the little guys, can apply to our actual real life. Gone are the days that we should be gawking over celebrities and their lives and their dating statuses, and we don't care about that. I've made plenty of videos before as well, too, where I think more and more of the modern day celebrities these days are just, being more detached from the actual real world happenings and the struggles of us little guys. I've said it once, I've said it a million times more. The rich are getting extremely rich, the poor are getting extremely poor. So I'm not going to sit here and know that fact and then sit and, gawk over said celebrities when the disparity is just too wide. Again, I know maybe you ain't come here to hear the, the philosophical breakdown, the cultural, but that's just, again, that's what you're going to get when you come on this channel, man. Philosophy, self-improvement, and the culture. So being that this topic does fall under the category of culture, man, and again, I will usually cave from time to time and speak on things that, of course, are just unavoidable. And see if there's any take-home value in it, man. There got to be some type of take-home value for it, again, as well, too, for you, the viewer, for me, the listener, as well, too, both of us. There got to be something we could take away from the back and forth and, this, that, whatever. So, I guess I just wanted to preface by saying that first. Like, I don't mind partaking in entertainment news, but in the grand scheme of things, I just want us all to be aware of that. In the grand scheme of things, man, like, if you just zoom out, in the grand scheme of the things of the world, just think about the things that you've seen in the headlines this past week outside of this Drake and Kendrick beef. Like, so the quiet moment, if you just close your eyes and think about, like, all right, but all the things that you are in your personal life or aware in your personal life and in the world outside of you, all the things that you are aware, that's going on in the real world. And then you open your eyes and ask yourself, where does the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef rank in the grand scheme of things, of everything that you just pondered about, the things that are personally going on in your personal life and the things that are going on in all the headlines of the world, in every single corner of the world. There's something going on, right? So you consider about all of that, all the headlines on the news, and then you ask yourself, all right, where am I going to rank and where am I going to dispose my energy? Where do I rank the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef in comparison to the grand scheme of things is all I'm trying to say. Some of y'all, this Kendrick and Drake beef is ranked number 1, and it shouldn't be ranked number 1 for you. There's certain people like you can, I bet I'm gonna give this a little bit of my time, cool, but you need to get back to work. Like you need a Drake and beef. They don't know you. They're not really tripping off what you got going on. So your opinions and it don't really matter. So just like that's the point I'm trying to make. Like we could talk Drake and Kendrick, but do keep in mind these are also 37, 38-year-old men who I would consider my age group whose lives are already set. So it'd be kind of foolish for me somebody who's considered himself on the come up and just the likes of anybody else that right now that could be watching. I'm assuming that you two are on the come up or maybe established whatever the case is. You know that you really don't have that much time to be putting towards people that are already checked every single box in their life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but again, I digress. Here we go, man. I think, man, what do I make of all of this Drake and Kendrick beef, man? It's simple. In terms of a score, who's winning, who's losing, the subject matter of these freestyles on both sides, you know, the things that Drake is alleging in his songs when he releases them and what the things that Kendrick Lamar is alleging in these songs when he releases them. It's a little disheartening, for lack of a better word. Like, this is just my personal take. Like, I think it's cool, but like, who's the winner? Like, how do you win in this situation? Like, who's the winner? Now, I do believe Kendrick Lamar is pulling out a tactic. Okay, we once saw the back-to-back, the legendary classic move. That was, fairly uncommon in the hip-hop culture where somebody is usually tit for tat. So they'll drop a track, you wait, the next man will drop a track. You'll drop a track, you'll wait, the next man will drop a track, right? But of course, I think it was Drake that even started that back-to-back notion. And now it looks like it came back and bit him in the ass. Because now he's getting back-to-back-to-back-to-back. And I don't think he planned out for that. Maybe he did, I'm not too sure. So if anything, I think the winner is the person who just keeps going, who empties the clip lyrically, not, physically, but lyrically. And I think if it's that, because now it's a matter of, because, in terms of actual lyricism between both of these artists, neither of them are really saying anything that's like, they're saying things, but they're not saying things that would seem like, oh man, this was some thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not really saying anything that's just like, if we're talking about this, the breakdown of the bars, they're not really saying much. The subject matter of the bars, what they're actually saying, again, the accusations, it's like, all right, cool. It's some of it is lies. I think, we know this in common culture as well, too. Lies usually sell and resonate more than the truth does. We see that a lot in this culture. So, does Drake have a daughter, 11-year-old daughter? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. Is Kendrick Lamar domestic abuser? What are the cases? I don't know. I really don't know, honestly. So maybe, of course, there's maybe communication within their inner circles and this, that, and the other cases. I think I've seen some news that, they fed Kendrick purposely some false information about the whole daughter incident. So it's just like that kind of waters that down as well, too. And it makes you look a little bit, goofy as well, too. I think in terms of just like falling for that bait, one, and then just, passionately putting out lyrics that are just not true over beats. Like, I think the truth should count for something. Like, damn, he's speaking some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the truth should count for something, as opposed to somebody just making up complete records that just are lies. Like, none of that is true. So can we really credit it to being a solid track? But that's just my personal take. And then what else? Again, in terms of who's winning, who's losing, the songs are cool. Based off the metric, I think a lot of people move the goalposts as well, too, in terms of what counts or constitutes an actual rap beef. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, is it, how many he was able to drop? Is it, the flow? Do you got to dance to it? A lot of y'all people, I've seen a lot of people calling, like, Kendrick's raps boring. They're longer, of course, as well, too, but they got replay value. Like, if you're listening, it kind of tells a story. All of the songs I think Kendrick been dropping tell a story, essentially. So I'm not really necessarily now, if they can make a song that sounds good in the club and sounds good in the car, then cool. That's a win-win, But I'm not necessarily looking for a diss track to go in the club, When Nas dropped Ether, they ain't play that in the club. They probably do now. But, like, I wasn't looking to dance to Ether, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm seeing that as a criteria. People saying that Kendrick's raps are boring. Listen, you should be listening. You shouldn't be wanting to dance to a rap beef diss track. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal take. So, I mean, yeah, again, if it goes, it goes. You know, what is it? Family Matters or whatever the one that Drake dropped, it goes. The last one Kendrick dropped, it goes. Like, okay, cool. That's extra points, but I'm not necessarily looking for my diss tracks to sound good or dance to them or whatever the case is. But other than that, bro, I mean, yeah, it's entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I'm not trying to be the guy that's like, he's too studious to. Nah, it's not even nothing like that, bro. It's just like, engage and get back to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, engage and get back to your real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's not work, I'm not trying to, paint that picture as well too. Oh, he's saying he's a workaholic. He's too busy for the shenanigans. I'm not even saying that, because I know people would try to interpret it and make it seem as if like I'm speaking some type of like, oh, he's too cool to not pay attention to the rap beef. Nah, I'm paying attention, but I'm also realizing that it doesn't really contribute to what I got going on my current plate. These dudes, again, they already won. And then lastly, like, y'all go so hard for this hip hop thing. Hip hop, oh man, we love a good rap beef in the name of hip hop. Hip hop is counterproductive. That's another stance that y'all that's another conversation y'all don't even want to speak on. Y'all go so hard for this hip hop culture. Oh, the hip hop beef, the hip hop. Oh, nah, man, for hip hop, do it in the name of hip hop. But look how counterproductive it is to the black community. I'm taking it there, bro. I am. This is probably where a lot of y'all click off, which is completely fine. But like, I'm taking it there, bro. Like, we got to be having some real conversations now, man. This hip hop that y'all champion so hard is counterproductive in the grand scheme of things. Again, in the grand scheme of things. In the bigger picture, if you zoom out to the effect that hip hop, current day hip hop now, drill music and all this extra, like, this hip hop culture that y'all champion so hard. Oh, this is good for the culture. Beef. Two people going at it like beef. It's good for the culture. We don't really need that in the culture right now, in my personal opinion. I think we need to, be on some J. Cole stuff. And that's the irony of the whole situation, that they ridiculed J. Cole for saying, hey, man, I'm not even trying to, get too deep into that, which honestly was an approach I probably would have taken. Because, again, like, you got Cole looking out here looking stupid because he's also lying on tracks. And he himself, at least he was able to say that, nah, he was tripping. Because it looks like, at this point, it looks like both Kendrick and Drake are just lying over songs. You know what I'm saying? Where, Cole knew damn well he was trying to, discredit Kendrick's discography, knowing that Kendrick has you can't. The only thing you can do with Kendrick's discography is just like, if you want to rank them amongst themselves in terms of, what was the best, what was the worst, what are the cases, but you can't discredit it as if it's nothing. Anybody that thinks To Pimp a Butterfly was a boring album, I question your taste in music. Or we just have different palettes in music. You know what I'm saying? To Pimp a Butterfly was a classic album, and Cole knew that as well too. So to even try to dumb that down was foolish. Again, like, what are we really saying when it really comes down to it? So it's just like, this hip hop thing, man. Y'all ridicule my man Cole for saying, hey, man, honestly, like, I'm not even trying to do all that, man. Which he honestly didn't have to, because Cole honestly is in his prime. So it's like, to stoop below and diss somebody who you actually respect on the low, who you consider your brother, who you say that you love, like, because people egged you on or whatever the case is. Like, now I'm glad he responded. He said something. At least he acknowledged it. Like, really, that diss track was the perfect route, man. Like, hey, man, he was basically saying, like, Cole's response to Kendrick was just basically him saying, like, look, man, don't sleep. Like, all right, cool. You don't want us to be the big three. We're not the big three, but don't sleep. Don't try a little bro me. Like, I do gets busy. That's all Cole was saying. I'm not even trying to smoke. Like, he's basically, that's what he was basically saying. Like, I'm not trying to go back and forth with you, man. I respect you. All right, cool. We don't got to be the big three if you don't want to be the big three, but don't try to act like I don't get busy on that microphone. That's all Cole was saying, and he backed out, man. Like, really, I'm not trying to go back and forth. And then if you think about it, had he kept going, where does he fit into all of this? Like, it just looks stupid. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, Kendrick go, then Drake go. It's like, it just would. I like that Cole backed out, because it just would have looked stupid. It just like how you got like everybody else, the ASAP Rockies and the Rick Ross. I mean, dude's hip to game now. It's all about clicks and attention. So some people just gonna use the buzz. Yeah, okay, cool. I'll throw my joint in there in the name of hip hop. I'll throw my verse in there. But the real smoke now is just directly is 1v1. Honestly, is how I see it. It's not even no 20v1 no more. I think it just should be, how is this gonna finish out between Drake and Kendrick Lamar? It really got nothing to do with anybody else at this point. And I respect Cole. I tip my hat to Cole for taking that stance, man, because y'all are grown ass men with kids. For hip hop, man, nah. It's been a while since y'all sound so funny when y'all say that, bro. Relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's been a while since hip hop had a good rap beef. Like, what? Bro, you have a family. That's just my take, bro. I'm not about to do the most for men that are older than me who are already established in their life in the name of hip hop. I'll give it energy, cool. I'm giving it as much energy as making a video on it now, again, because since it's a trending topic across the world in this hip hop culture right now, whatever the case is. So yeah, but do know that I'm not giving it too much time because there's a real world, you know what I'm saying? And I hope you're doing the same as well too. But nonetheless, that's my segment for today, man. Love to hear your thoughts, your comments, your questions, your concerns down in the comment section. In your opinion, who's winning? How do you gauge what the modern day beef look like nowadays, man? And is this like an ideal use of our time? Is it a distraction? Don't get me started. See, I didn't even want to get too deep on y'all. All of these are distractions at the end of the day, folks. But nonetheless, I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, of course, folks, the likes, the comments, the subscribes are all greatly appreciated. I will catch you on the next one.